Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum CSPro users. Tutorial on create HTML reports. CSPro can create HTML reports using case data as well as results from the queries into paradata and other data sets. By specifying tags in the template reports, CSPro logic can be run and CSPro dictionary variables can be accessed to render a report. In this tutorial, I am using census data from the example folder. I will use the file.write function to generate a report. The file.write function is also available. This function is the same as the file write. HTML is another option for generating reports. So we will learn how to generate a report in both ways. First, add a census dictionary to the application before start writing logic. After that, add value sets to the dictionary item activities, 1 for start interview, 2 for view reports, and 0 for close application. I will start writing logic with the field procedure. Select activities from the form tree, then click the logic icon in the design toolbar. In the logic, I have not written the pre-proc code. The logic will be considered post-proc. If we choose the first option, the interview will start. On the selection of the second option, the accept function displays a menu with a heading and a list of choices. Use HTML dialogs. If checked, CSPro will use HTML dialog for displaying logic as well as other aspects of the CSPro user interface. If unchecked, CSPro will use the style of dialogs used prior to CSPro 7.7. In a future release of CSPro, the old style of dialogs will be removed. If we choose the first option from the list of choices, the function will be called view household report. This function is written in the declaration section proc global. I converted the data file to CSDB format. You can make use of the .dat file. To start, we will use the file exists function to determine whether or not the data file exists. If the file already exists, use the setFile function to add a data file to the dictionary. Otherwise, the error message will be displayed and the cursor will return to the login ID. If the file is successfully assigned, then declare dummy variables using the numeric statement. To store the values in the dummy variables from the data, we are using for case statement. Use the isPartial function. Each case will be checked to see if it is partially or completed. If it is partially, the value will be increased by 1 in the partially underscore count. Otherwise, the value will be increased in the completed underscore count variable. The execution then move on to the first statement, which counts the number of male members. I am counting the number and adding it to the count male variable using the count function and the where condition. Doing the same thing for the female count in the second statement. By itself, for case will loop through each case in the data file. The end for keyword ends the for case loop. After the for case loop, add partial underscore count and complete underscore count to get the total number of cases. Add the count male and count female to get the total population. We will create a status report based on this information. To write a report, use the setFile function to associate the file handler with the text file. If no keyword such as create, update, or append is used, and the file hintinfo.txt does not exist, a new empty file is created. Otherwise, the file is opened in updated mode. The filewrite function writes one or more lines of text to the file hintinfo.txt associated with the file handler report file. All the lines which we are writing in the text file will be in double quotes. Create the same report layout as shown in the sample report. This layout is divided in two parts. One is for the total number of cases, and the second part is for the total population by gender. Use the filewrite function to create the report title. Give one line space after the heading by using double quotes only, and after the one line space, give the heading interview status. By using dashes in the double quotes, insert a row next to the heading. Add the text completed interviews to the next line and pass one argument for the complete count. Because this argument is numeric, we will use %d to insert the numbers. We will do the same thing for the partial interview information and add a line before the total count. Add the text total interviews and pass one argument for the total count. Do the same thing for the second part of the report. By using the close function, you can close a file that was opened via a file statement or as a dictionary. If the application is running on the Windows operating system, then open it in Explorer. Otherwise, open it in the viewer. This was one of the first way we used the filewrite function to create a report. We will now use HTML to create the report layout. Before start writing logic, add HTML file in the application. Open Notepad and save blank page as HTML. Choose a path where you want to save HTML file. I will save it in the login folder. Give a name to the file followed by .html and press save to continue. Now the HTML file is saved to use in your application. Open your application. If you are not on the form tree, then go to the form tab by clicking on the tab at the bottom of the tree. We add the HTML by clicking on File, Add Files. This brings up the dialog box to enter the name of the file. It is important to use Add File instead of Open. Navigate to the login folder. Click on the website next to the report title. Select the HTML file to continue. You can now view your report by clicking on the plus sign just before the secondary tree node. Right-click on the file hh_report_html and select Properties. In the Report Properties window, two text boxes will be displayed. The first box will be Protected, and in this box, the full file name of the template reported will be shown. The template report name will be displayed in the second box. Initially, the report and the file name will be the same. You can change the report name, but this does not mean that the file name will be changed. We will keep the same name as the file. Press OK to continue. To start writing logic, select the report and then click the logic icon in the toolbar. A blank page will be on your screen. The tags which we will use to create report in the HTML format. Body defines the document's body. H1 defines HTML headings. P defines a paragraph. Span defines a section in a document. Each HTML element has an opening and closing tag. The comments are specified using these tags. Define the style for the body, heading, paragraph, span, and paragraph over on the same page. You can define style as per your needs. After defining the style, start writing CSPro logic. CSPro logic can be embedded in the templated report by starting the logic with question mark followed by the less than mark and ending the logic with less than mark followed by the question mark. The tag can be used to include inline logic as well as multiple lines of logic. Declare dummy variables using the numeric and string statements as we created dummy variables while preparing the first report. If the file already exists, use the setFile function to add a data file to the dictionary to store the values in the dummy variables from the data we are using for case statement. Use the isPartial function. Each case will be checked to see if it is partially or completed. If it is partially, the value will be increased by 1 in the partially underscore count. Otherwise, the value will be increased in the completed underscore count variable. The execution then move on to the first statement, which counts the number of male members. I am counting the number and adding it to the count male variable using the count function and the where condition. Doing the same thing for the female count in the second statement. The and for keyword ends the for case loop. After the for case loop, add partial underscore count and complete underscore count to get the total number of cases. Add the count male and count female to get the total population. The same logic was applied when preparing the first report. At the end, put greater than mark followed by the question mark. If these tags does not exist, then error message will appear within the compiler output tab of the message view at the bottom of the workspace. To standardize the output, we used %04d for the numeric argument with a length of 4. And here we are using the edit function to standardize the output with a length of 4 and 5. You can change the length as per your needs. The work we have done so far will look something like this. Based on this, we will generate a report using HTML. HTML defines 6 levels of headings. H1 defines the most important heading. H6 defines the least important heading. I am using H1 and the report title is enclosed by the opening and closing H1 tags. After the heading, use tag P and the paragraph is enclosed by the opening and closing P tag. I am using a span with the class name thick in the text to separate the text from the rest. As you can see in the image, the application name is bold and blue. Add two horizontal lines by adding the tag HR. Insert the dictionary name between two horizontal lines. I am using the dictionary name in conjunction with the tags B and B. The B tags makes the text bold. The result of the numeric or string expression specified between the tildes is displayed. The syntax in the remaining lines is the same, with the exception of the style with the p tag and ampersand emsp semicolon. This may be perceived as 4 times the space of a normal space. A style attribute on a p tag specifies the paragraph's style. Finally, use JavaScript to close the application and return to the program. I hope this tutorial makes it easier for you to create reports. For more details, please see CSPro help on HTML. Keep on learning and goodbye.